All right, welcome to my podcast. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about the world's newest catfish boat, the Excel Stormcat. Now, I'm doing this as a podcast because at my dealership, Marine Specialists, they were doing a boat show, which means they had some music going on, and I don't want YouTube to get mad at me for having music in the background. Also, I am not sponsored by Excel or by my dealership, so I will give you guys my own thoughts about this boat at the end of this video. Now, I think you would agree with me, this Excel Stormcat is a beautiful, beautiful boat. Not only is this boat made in Tennessee, this is the first blue Stormcat they have made. And it is the first to have a Mercury Outboard. That is a 300 horsepower outboard that's on the back of this boat. Now, as you just saw in that clip, this boat has an offshore bracket. It's basically an ocean boat that has been redesigned into a catfish boat. The offshore bracket is strong enough for you to stand on. It acts like rear pods to help keep the motor up, and it's strong enough to mount the motor on. It also has a kicker motor bracket up as well if you want to add a kicker motor to it. This is a heavy boat. The trolling motor can do only so much. So having a kicker motor can help when there's a lot of current and you want to troll whatever baits for whatever fish. It is definitely ready for the ocean, and it's built for big waters here in our freshwater areas. What is even better is they added a transom door to the transom so you can actually get out to that offshore bracket. That way, if you need to, you can land a fish back there or, get on and off the boat, because there's also a ladder on the back of this particular boat. Now, when you look at the front deck, this deck has actually been extended in comparison to other ocean boats. They have moved the windshield back about 2 feet, which gives you more room to stand on the front deck to throw cast nets, to fish for skipjacks, or to fish for anything in general. It's a very interesting move, and it makes it a little bit different than the ocean rigs out there. This particular boat is rigged for a trolling motor. I would say they will all be rigged for it, and the plug that you're seeing here is the same plug that's on my Excel Catfish Pro. And I've not had any issues with that plug yet. And I've got a 36 volt, 112 pound thrust trolling motor, a Minn Kota Ultera. So hopefully there won't be any issues with that. They do have tackle storage on the front, and they give you Plano boxes that fit into one of the storage bins so you can put your tackle there, which is really cool in my opinion. And there is other storage on the front deck as well. One of them has a drain, and the other one looks like it's for anchor storage. I personally don't use an anchor. I use my trolling motor as my anchor on my own boat. Now I'm going to show you a longer sequence of me stepping into the boat, into the main area of the boat. It is a pretty big step. There's multiple steps down, and the very last one is a pretty far drop. So whenever you're, stepping in one of these boats, you need to just keep that in mind, that you will have to hold on when you step down into the main part of the boat. I don't know if anybody else has ever like filmed walking into one of these boats. That's why I did this, so you could get a chance to see what it looks like and what you might have to deal with. It is a boat with a windshield, and the door is in the middle, which gives you both windows, which are very, very solid on this particular boat, to help you get down into the middle of the boat. Now, here is the big thing of the boat. There is a 100-gallon total live well on the back. It's partitioned with 80 gallons on the left and about 20 gallons on the right. So you can have bait on the right side and your big catfish on the left side. It is an extremely big tank on the back transom. And I'll tell you what, I have talked to other boat manufacturers who build boats like this, and they will not go over 30 gallons. So if you want an extremely large live well in, an ocean boat, this is pretty much your only option right now. Now, if you know of one that would do 100 gallons, let me know in the comments below, because I've contacted a few and most of them are 20 to 30 gallons. They think 30 gallons is huge and big enough. When you're a catfisherman and you want to do tournaments, 30 gallons is not enough. You have to have 80 to 100 gallons. Also, I think with certain modifications, you could make this into a bait tank where you could keep large gizzards and even skipjack herring in. So this would make an incredible striper boat too, with proper modifications. Now here's another look at the live well just to show you how big it is on the back of the boat. It is a little bit in the way. There's nothing you can get around it. If you want a live well or a bait tank in a boat like this, it's going to be in the way, period. You're going to either have it in the center of the floor and you're going to have to walk around it, or in this case, the way they've designed this boat, it's on the back transom. Thankfully, there is that back door on the transom, so you can get back onto the offshore bracket and pull in the fish, like I said earlier. Now, this boat does have a few good extra accessories on it, like a washdown pump. This is so you can spray things down whenever, you get them dirty. It is really, really useful to have. I had a boat in the past that had a washdown pump, and I used it a lot. Another big thing about this boat, it has lockable rod storage in the floor. You can keep, I think, up to 10 rods in there. I think they said 10 rods up to 8 feet long each. I forgot to bring one of my rods to put in there to test it, but it looks like to me there's ample room down there to have a nice set of fishing rods. In fact, I would keep bait rods and catfish rods in there. Also, what's in the floor is a very large gas tank. I think it's about 60 or 70 gallons. That would last almost forever, even on a large outboard. So it has an enormous fuel tank in the floor. Now, this particular boat was built with those special cushioned seats, and underneath the seats is more storage. It's definitely nice to have these cushioned seats whenever, you have chop out on the water. And of course, like almost every other boat, it's got all the bells and whistles around the steering column and on the passenger side. This particular boat also has music and speakers in it, something that I avoid myself, obviously, because I'm a YouTuber and I can't have any kind of background music that's not, copyrighted. It is what it is, and it is a nice setup. I would like to see actual digital gauges instead of the normal gauges, but that's my preference. Someday I might actually put a digital gauge on my current boat. Now, underneath the windshield and the instrument gauge and the steering wheel and all that is battery storage, and supposedly there is a lot of battery storage under there. You can have enough batteries to last you for a long time for your trolling motor, for your accessories, whatever. There is a ton of room down there. I would assume you could also store stuff down there as well, like, PFDs. Me, as a fishing guide and a fishing captain, the Coast Guard requires Type 1 PFDs to be on board your ship, and they are bulky. I barely have enough room on my current boat for Type 1 PFDs. Now, last but not least, this trailer is an easy loader trailer. Most of the Excels that I have bought and that I have seen come with the Diamond City trailer. This particular boat comes with the Easy Loader trailer. And I tell you what, I don't know anything about Easy Loader. If you have any experience with them, leave a comment below. I would like to know your experience with Easy Loader. Now, what are my thoughts on this boat? One, I will say this. It does meet some of my requirements for a catfish boat. It doesn't have a back deck. Yes, it has a 100-gallon live well that's kind of in the way, but that's also a cutting board. You can use that as, a cutting board or to put some stuff on, as long as you remember to move it when you open it up to put a big catfish in there or to get bait. Also, with that transom door, it does allow you to get to the back of the boat just in case you have to land something beside the outboard. Now, with this being such a big boat, if I got one, I would actually probably have to upgrade my truck. Now, I did tow a Sea Arc Pro Cat 200 with a Tundra at one time. It was basically overpowering that truck. My F-150 would probably struggle a little bit towing such a big boat. I don't know the exact weight of that boat, but it's got to be heavier than my Catfish Pro. My Catfish Pro is 3,800 pounds. I have weighed it before. So in order for me to get that boat, I may have to upgrade to a stronger vehicle. I will also say this. It is very, very expensive. Even if I got like a sponsorship with Excel, there's no way I could actually afford this boat. It is top of the line. It is expensive. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of ocean boats, it is the same, if not lower cost than normal ocean boats. They are usually more expensive. Like I said earlier, they will have a 20 to 30 gallon live well on the back of the boat. So smaller live well for more money. The windshield will be pushed up about 2 feet, which means you will have a smaller front deck to work with. And you can actually have side benches with actual storage. You can't on this one. If they make like a 24-footer, they might be able to do that, which I hope they do. I hope they start making bigger ones, like a 24-footer with side benches. In fact, here is a picture I made of one with side benches. So I think it would work perfectly. I don't know if Excel will do it. It would be nice if they did it. Now let's go back to talking about like a smaller front deck. Now, smaller front deck to me doesn't really, shut the deal down, because I can still fish up to 2 people for skipjacks on a small front deck, because I've done it before on another boat, a boat that I didn't own, that someone else did own. And I've seen them fish for muskie on it. I've seen them throw cast nets off of a smaller deck. So having a bigger deck, isn't always needed. However, like I said, you're paying less for a bigger front deck with the Excel Stormcat in comparison to some of these ocean boats. Now, there is one more thing that might hold me back from getting this boat. I don't know how shallow it drafts. I do know, like, the Bay Pros that come out of the same factory in Tennessee where this one comes out of, they're incredible when it comes to shallow water. I took mine into 0.8 feet before I hit, that's what my Garmin said. So my Garmin said 0.8 feet, 0.8 foot, so under a foot of water based on the Garmin before I hit with the Bay Pro. This is a big, heavy, deep V boat. It might be as deep as 2 to 3 feet, which means I would not be able to get back to some of my shallow water areas to fish for catfish. And a lot of you that are subscribed to my channel know that I absolutely love shallow water. Now, that's something I won't be able to actually really test unless I own the boat, because I don't really want to accidentally get stuck or scratch a brand new boat that hasn't been sold yet. So I don't know how it's going to go. All I can hope for is that somebody who owns one can tell us in the comments below, or even just tell me, or I find out someday in the future and might do a future video on it, that it drafts at, X amount of feet in the water. So that's just something we're going to have to find out. I don't think it's going to be, an easy boat to get into the shallows. So that's two things that would hold me back from getting this particular boat: price and shallow water ability. Still, there are plenty of rivers and lakes where you can take this boat and catch giant catfish. It is a catfishing machine. And this one that the dealership got, it has a bimini top as well. They haven't installed it yet. The bimini top can help you stay out of the elements and stay warm in the wintertime and cool in the summertime. So it is a great boat to own. And if you are interested in it, definitely talk to marine specialists. Right now it is October 25th, 2024, and they still have it. Tomorrow is Saturday, and that's the last day of their boat show, which is going to be yesterday when I publish this on a Sunday, but they should still have the boat. It might sell, it might not, I don't know, but if you are interested in buying it, just let them know Billy, or Captain Billy from YouTube, sent you in that direction for that boat. It is a beautiful boat. There are people that can afford it. There's a lot of people like me who can't afford it. I completely understand. Excel understands that. Excel has cheaper boats. It is what it is. And there's always used boats and kayaks if you can't afford one of these Stormcats. Also, they are a bit rare right now because they are still ramping up production. So it would take time to actually get one custom built versus trying to find a dealership like this that has one in stock. Anyway, I hope some of you got to learn something new and were at least a little bit entertained with this video. I did want to do a video on this boat. It is a nice boat, and who knows, maybe someday I'll be able to get one. The best thing I can say is subscribe to my channel and like my videos. That will help me grow on YouTube, and maybe YouTube can help me buy my dream boat. Now, as always, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to actually watch this video. I really appreciate it. Now all I need to do is get my boat on the water for this weekend to see what I can catch. I actually don't have any plans, so I'm not sure what I'm going to chase, but I do have a bait tank that I just made that I need to do a video on, and I need to test. I need to get some thread fins in it or gizzards, take it out and fish with it. Stay tuned. Eventually you'll see that video among others, and yeah, maybe I'll catch some big fish. Thanks again for watching. I hope to see you next time.